Ooh, interesting question. Do spiritual experiences breed more spiritual experiences the same way that lust breeds more lust? Basically, yes. Not precisely, but basically, yes. So let's understand something about spiritual experiences. As you start to have spiritual experiences, you accumulate Shakti, energy. That energy will then facilitate further spiritual experiences. That's number one. Number two is that just like anything else in the mind, if you condition the mind in a particular habit, then it will get conditioned in that way. So after you have a spiritual experience, you may be more excited to meditate. Right? So then you sit down to meditate more often. It becomes more important to you. Totally fine. There are some ways in which spiritual experiences can cause problems in terms of having other spiritual experiences. So there are a couple of pitfalls. So here are the pitfalls of spiritual experience. Number one is when you have a spiritual experience, it creates an expectation to have another spiritual experience. And having an expectation prevents the spiritual experience from happening. Because the first one you had no expectation because it had never happened to you before. Right? So the first time you have like an out-of-body experience, you're like, wow, this is insane. But how did you get to that first spiritual experience? With a lack of expectation. I was just sitting there observing my breath and suddenly this weird crap started to happen. Now you go in and you have the thought, I want to float around. Let's go. Let's astral travel. Let's go do all this stuff. And that will prevent you from attaining it. That's number one. Second problem, pitfall with spiritual experience is that it feeds our ego. Because now this thing has happened. Look at me. I'm so spiritual. I'm so spiritual. Oh my God. It's so cool. So the simplest way to avoid the pitfall of spiritual achievement is by shutting the fuck up. Do not talk to anyone about it. The moment that you talk about it, it becomes externalized. See, here it is living within you. And if you talk about something, it goes out into the world and it leaves you. This is why psychotherapy works. Oh, I have all this trauma in here and I talk about it. Now it's not in here anymore. It's out into the world. We did a great video about why people who are quiet are really advantaged in life. And you'll notice that there are people who talk a big game and never do anything. And there are people who actually do a lot who usually don't talk about it. So the more you store your energy in here, the more it compounds. This is what we know from trauma. So if I put something in here and I never let it out, it compounds and it starts to rot away on the inside because it's a negative thing. And so what happens is as you start to talk about it, your ego grows. You move away from the conditions that allowed you to have that spiritual experience. And you also lose that Shakti. Does that make sense? So spiritual experience can foster more spiritual experience provided you don't do it, you don't screw it up. So the best analogy I can give is, hey, if I make money, does it get easier to make more money? Yeah, usually. Right? So if you've gotten to the point where you're making a fair amount of money, all you have to do is keep doing that and you'll get more money. And furthermore, there's a certain compounding interest. If you can save some, that money will grow on its own. So that same is true of spirituality. But that's only true if you don't spend it. Right? If I get my first paycheck, I'm like, look at me, I got so much money, and I'm going to go buy a bunch of shit, then I won't make money. So Synapse is saying, how is being quiet and compounding negativity good? Compounding negativity isn't good. We want to vent our negativity. The whole point about being quiet is you want to compound your positivity. Don't talk to people about your positivity. Right? When you achieve something, just let it go. Don't go tell the whole world, hey, I'm doing this. Hey, I'm working on this project. Hey, I'm working on this. I have this idea for an app. Let me tell you all this cool stuff I'm going to do. So even we sort of subtly do this. So today we said, hey, I've got a super secret project coming up. So we kind of put a nod to it. I'm trying to signal to the people that, hey, their answer's coming. I'm working on it. And at the same time, I'm not going to talk to y'all about what I'm doing. Because the moment I talk to you, it creates expectations. I lose my energy for it. All kinds of stuff. Check out our video on introverts being advantaged. So Ayakashi Twins is saying, hold everything inside. Don't hold everything inside. Let the negative stuff out. Vent the negativity. Whatever you want to compound is what you should hold inside. Do you personally believe in determinism? I don't know what determinism is. I believe in karma. And karma is nothing but the principle of cause and effect. Compound the positivity or not. Right? So when I earn something, let's say I earn money. Same answer as money. Let's say I earn $100. Why not share the wealth? You can absolutely share the wealth, but then it'll be gone. It's not a bad thing to share the wealth. The question is, what do you want? So if you want to share, if your goal is to make the world a better place, then by all means share your positivity. All right, you want to make this person happy because they love you and want to share something, go for it. But there's very see, the mind is slippery. The reason I'm speaking in absolutes is because it's very easy for ego to hijack wanting to make the world a better place. Very, very sneaky.